What commercial vegan pet food brands do any one of you recommend? Diana, what do you feed? What do you use for dog food?
Well, that's putting me on the spot a little bit because first of all, my guy Moo, who you showed, is really picky. So I have to go by his tastes and what he has accepted and not accepted. Obviously, being a canine nutritionist, I like to cook for him most of the time. But, and also things in the industry change so often. But I will tell you this, I look for certain things. I look for things like non-GMO ingredients. I look for organic if we can do that. And I look for quality ingredients and, obviously no artificial colors and things like that. Right now, Moo is loving, when we give him commercial food, he's loving the Evolution organic canned food. So when he does eat commercial, he likes it and it likes him and it's organic. So that's that's what we're doing right now.
Thank you. Susan, what do you use for dog and cat food?
So I have, as I've mentioned, I have 6 dogs and 4 cats. I prepare their treats, but I don't make all of their food. My dogs eat a combination of Evolution, the organic, which is the Ultra Life. They have 3 different types of kibble, and I feed them the Ultra Life. I also feed them a brand called Wild Earth, and also V-Dog. And that's what my dogs eat, primarily Evolution with some Wild Earth. I feed them a little bit of V-Dog, and I also keep the V-Dog around. I make bags of V-Dog to give to homeless people who have animals. The Evolution by weight is about twice the cost of Wild Earth and V-Dog where I live in California. My cats I have found cats to be pickier eaters, and I have found universally cats love Ami Cat, which is made in Italy. It's quite expensive and hard to get because of the shipping here in the United States. If you're living close to Italy, I'm sure it's easier to get. I feed them about half Ami Cat and about a quarter of the Evolution organic and a little bit of the Wild Earth for flavoring because they love it, although it's not a dog food. Another thing that I do is I give them, depending on where you live, I have my own spring water, which I filter, and so they get spring water that's filtered. Tap water is not a good idea to feed to animals, so spring or distilled water. And I also will hydrate their kibble at least some of the time when I feed them, and I use nutritional yeast and some other flavorings on top.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Susan. Matthew?
Yeah, I definitely, I go back and forth between which company, because I want to give all my money to these vegan pet companies. We're big fans of V-Dog. That's what we started our dog on, was V-Dog. Then we did Evolution, and we loved that. I mean, Happy and Scooter, they loved them all. And then we had this friend that had these German Shepherds, and she was a wonderful vegan. She could not get her dogs healthy on dog food, and so finally she was able to try a brand, and it was Wild Earth, and they thrived off of that. So for some reason, V-Dog and the other ones weren't working for her dog, so we're like, oh, we'll try Wild Earth, and so now we do Wild Earth. So I actually usually end up every 2 weeks, I'll switch between V-Dog and Wild Earth. That said, our dogs primarily eat what we eat, because we eat a lot of food that we just end up making for the dogs too. A lot of beans, rice, potatoes. Obviously, we try to limit the amount of oil and process. We don't do sugar or anything like that. So the dogs end up getting meals with us. So usually they don't eat as much food as we would think, because we just end up cooking for, I guess, all 6 of us now, including the 2 kids and the dogs.
Thank
I
you.
would recommend sweet potatoes. They love sweet potatoes.
And Marlene, if I can just jump in and say, I think what kind of picking up on what Matthew was saying, that all dogs respond differently to different foods. So it's really important that you kind of experiment and see what works best for your dog. See, you know, like I said, my dog's super picky and really won't even eat any of the kibbles, even though they're super high quality. So, you know, see what they like and see what agrees the best with them, you know, and then, and it's often good sometimes to rotate too every once in a while so that you can be sure that they're getting a variety of different types of nutrients that are in some of these different brands.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Matthew.